There's a moment in every unmasking journey when you realize something profound. You have spent years, maybe decades, editing your own essence. Not because you aren't creative, not because you don't have something to say, but because self expression has always been tied to exposure. And exposure has always been tied to risks. But here's the truth your soul has been whispering all along. Your creativity is not a hobby. It is the purest, most ancient language of who you are. And at the moment you allow yourself to express without masks, you meet the version of yourself you've been searching for. And before we dive in today, into the heart of this, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's where you'll find daily meditations that accompany this work, along with conversations and sessions and deeper reflections that help you unmask at a cellular level. And welcome back, everyone. I'm Marybeth Hrim, and today we step into one of the most sacred layers of being human. Creative expression as an act of truth, liberation, and identity. This is week 10 of the Unmasking and Be Yourself series. And by now, you've touched places inside yourself that most people never even approach. Your originality, your boundaries, your intuition, your worth, your courage to exist without apology. And now, we turn towards creativity, not as a product, not as a performance, but as the soul's natural way of speaking before the world taught you how to quiet it. Creativity is your soul's memory. So if you look back at your childhood, not the moments that were shaped by approval, but the moments when you were lost in yourself, you'll notice something. Creativity is not something you learned. It's something you remembered. It's from instinct, from curiosity, from sensation, from emotion, from the wild and filtered place inside of you that had no need to explain itself. Before you ever put on a mask, you were already expressing. When you drew, when you move, when you write, when you speak, when you imagine. These acts aren't about talent. They're about remembering who you were before the world asked you to behave. Masks form where creativity was once alive. Masks, they don't come out of nowhere. They form in the exact places where your expression once flowed freely. You were loud, so someone told you to quiet it down. You're imaginative, so someone told you to be realistic. You were expressive, so someone told you to make yourself smaller. You were emotional, so someone told you to toughen up. You're original, so someone told you to fit in. Every time your expression was met with criticism or confusion, a tiny part of you tucked itself away. And this is why creativity is so vulnerable now. Because it's the doorway back to those protected parts. Your creativity isn't blocked, it's guarded. Not because you're incapable, but because the deeper you go into your authentic expression, the closer you get to the version of yourself that wasn't protected. And your soul knows. If you return to that version, you return to your truth. Creativity without mask is not performance, it's permission. When you remove the mask, something subtle but powerful happens. Expression stops being for them and starts being for you. You're no longer creating to be understood. You're creating to understand yourself. You're no longer creating to be impressive. You're creating to be honest. You're no longer creating to be liked. You're creating to be free. The moment your creativity is released from expectation, your inner world begins to recognize itself around truth. And this is where intuition becomes impossible to ignore. Because unmasked creativity awakens parts of you that have been waiting for years. The wildness, the softness, the rage, the sensuality, the longing, the wisdom, the calling, the clarity. Creativity without masks is not art. It's you reclaiming yourself. The intuitive layer of creativity as a soul tracking. So let's go deeper into this. Your creativity is not random. It's not accidental. It's not meaningless. It is a map. It shows you where your energy wants to go before your mind understands why. It shows you what wants to be healed before you can put language around it. It shows you what you're becoming before you consciously choose it. When you express without masks, you're not just being creative. You are tracking the evolution of your soul. Every word you write, every image you choose, every metaphor that comes up, every movement your body initiates, it all comes from somewhere inside you that is far more honest than your conditioned self. This is why creativity feels so emotional, because you are literally touching the truth. Why expression feels so vulnerable? This part here is important because when you express authentically, you reveal the parts of yourself that haven't yet been validated, held, or protected. The parts that carry dreams no one else knew you had, hold wounds no one else saw, feel emotions you never voiced, still crave freedom. Creativity exposes the unspoken. And exposure, for most of us, was taught to be dangerous. So when fear appears, when perfectionism rises, when your nervous system tightens, nothing's wrong. It's just your body remembering what it felt like to be unguarded in a guarded world. But you are not that child anymore. You are not unprotected. You are not powerless. You can hold yourself now. You can witness yourself now. You can express for you now. And that changes everything. The soul level shift expression becomes healing. Unmasked creativity doesn't ask, is this good? It asks, is this true? And truth is always healing. When you create freely, the psyche begins to release pressure, emotion, memory, intuition, insight, energy. The unmasking becomes less about removing layers and more about revealing your original decision or your original design, the blueprint that has always been there beneath the fear. Creativity becomes the medicine that reconnects you to your essence. So here's a deep reflection for this week. I want you to sit with this. Maybe journal on it. Maybe meditate on it. Maybe let it echo during a run or a walk. What part of me is trying to speak through my creativity right now? And what mask is still silencing it? You will feel the answer, not think it. Feel it. Because intuition speaks in sensation, not sentences. Let that sensation guide you. Now, practice for unmasked expression. Choose one form of expression this week. Something simple, contained, sacred, and approach it with no agenda other than truth. It can be a journal page. It could be a voice note, a movement practice, a poem, a sketch, a photography moment, prayer, a meditation you record just for yourself. Whatever you choose, ask yourself, what is true for me right now? And let your expression answer. Not beautifully, not perfectly, not logically, but honestly. Let it be raw. Let it be uneven. Let it be unpolished and real. And see what part of you wakes up. Because something will. Creativity without masks is not the final step of unmasking. It is the awakening, the moment you realize you are not becoming yourself. You are returning to yourself. I want to thank you so much for walking this path with me, for trusting your intuition, your voice, your truth. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the daily meditations that deepen this work. I'm Marybeth Hrim. Until next time.